Good afternoon. This is your commander speaking. Hope you're all having a good morning. I really appreciate the positive comments that are coming in. As an intuitive, it has struck me that some of you that are not aware of your current levels of ignorance, closeted white supremacy, anti-themism, Donald Trump worship, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the prettiest ex-mainstream reporter of them all, on and on and on. Don't know where we're going to. I'm awake that it's an alien hybrid, satanic, demonic, racist, neo-Nazi, MK Ultra attitude in reality that's going to see me as mentally ill for being psychic. The person could be black. The person could be white. The issue is so prevalent that somebody could think that I'm being mentally ill or cruel or abusive for being psychic, whether they be a female in the UK or whether they be a male in France, in Germany. The one thing that binds them all, though, is the desire to either be white or look white. There's a parallel, also the people that they admire, blacks and whites only. And there's a problem here, Houston, with people that claim to be loving star seeds, locking in their frequency, as I said the whole time, their idea of love and light, their idea for a lot of people in the world is the tall Nordic. And anyone that would criticize that is into white genocide, when in reality there is a brown genocide. There is a brown genocide of my heritage, okay? And this world doesn't want to talk about that. Now, I cover white genocide like a master, but people don't want to hear it from a brown guy. That's the problem and why you will lose everything, okay? God is not going to allow this bastardization of the separation of the different people. Eventually, but before the grid goes out, okay, you're going to be tested. And you have been tested now as a soul, the Gregs of the world, by how you have treated me, how I will platform you for years and years and years. And then you'll arrive years later to go, you have no value, you're no one, showing that you really were entirely different people in 2007 and 8 and 9. And if you look at the aspects of myself that you might like, why do you like those things? Or that person? Why would a person like me better and say I was better then? And there's a plus and a minus to me then. Then I had sex. Then I had Emily. I had access to marijuana. No one will sell me marijuana here, okay? It's not accessible, okay? It's not accessible in half the United States. Stop acting like it is. It's not. Some of you will eventually, maybe even you, Blake. I mean, dude, it's nature. You're going to freak out and leave again, maybe insult. When you do, just move on with your life, man. Because it's going to happen. I'm not a likable man because we're of different species. You're being told right now, bro. I don't believe that my mother and that family is from Earth now, actually, at this point, because there's too much hate of my people. And it's like an alien program. People can't perceive of the stuff. I have to explain it to them. That's bizarre, dude. I should never explain to people what I've been through for years. And if I've been on the air for years, and people like Greg were on my show, hang out with Jack Blood, and they turn on me and start trolling me going, you need help. Bro, now what is the topic of today's video? What is that real help? That would be the real version of the nice guy version of Greg. He's just being mean, and that's what they do. And that's why you need to be right about MK Ultra, because women were abused in this country in the 1950s, okay? And they were taken away and they were harmed with drugs and rape, okay? And so I'm telling you every show that those of you that are promoting the false idea of schizophrenia because you're not gifted and you're crazy and you have an allergic reaction to marijuana. Meanwhile, I have prophecy. I've worked for multiple millionaires. I've predicted the future and more than a few things. Now they're constantly showing you in the news about psychics predicting something in 2025, but I did, and they ignore me. So your world is evil. Your world is evil. Your world is evil, and God is not happy with you. Understand? God is not happy with you. You ignored my prophecy and you treat me like nothing. Okay, so I don't care. Call me schizophrenic. I'm touched by God, and you're touched by the devil. Greg, you're touched by the devil. Greg, which is why you attacked me 10 years ago. See, what you're doing is you're shutting down the comment section, or trying to, so that people can't get at me to be nice. The other reason you're trying to shut down the comment section is people demand that it be open to donate. But those people that say, why is your comment section closed? When I open it back up, they still don't donate because they were fucking with me, whoever Jackie was. So there are very deranged women and men that are, about 50% of you are Satanists. At least we can tell from your attitude. Whether you like or not is not a measure. of whether or not you're a Satanist or not. Your like ratio means nothing. And many of you are nothing. But vampires who take and take from what? The energy coming from me to the screen, which is why you show up. It's fine. I'm taking right now from Wi-Fi. Right now I take and I take and I take and I take from Wi-Fi. And I take that energy and I take from the sun. I take and I take and I take from the sun, not you, from the sun. And then I give it to you. And then I give it to you. So what you're feeding on, actually, without paying for it, is that solar energy that's coming into my body, my light, if you will. And as many of you, if you're on the alien hybrid side or others, let's get away from hybrid statements. To people that are not possessed, I'll become more beautiful and intelligent. To people that are possessed, I need to be locked away. I need to be this, that, and the other. And that's how you can have increased Islamophobia and people being rounded up and locked up that are innocent just because of a white man or a white woman's bias, who's under alien Archon mind control, who's working in charge of the jab, of the Pfizer. And so you are pro-big pharma, you are pro-big jab. If you are promoting the official view of schizophrenia, you are below average in consciousness if you spent years LARPing in the anti-COVID lockdown movement, and yet you support Pfizer getting more money. I mean, that's just nuts. How do you criticize? Do you understand the words that are coming to my mouth by chance? Let me see your eyeballs. You see. And what I noticed about medical marijuana is I look absolutely dangerous and crazy and demonic to some people that are white when I'm smoking marijuana. So we're going to be talking more about your increase in racism until they do come kill me, Greg, or say things to influence others to do so, or behind the scenes, which a lot of people do without talking to me directly via email, via email, via email. Now, once you abuse me and you think I'm being anti-white when I'm trying to save your children, we're done, bro. And you're kicked out of the Substack page. You have to apologize, and you have to do it in the subject headline, because I do not open your emails once you show me that you're taken by them and you're promoting the Nordic white god and the white genocide. You people are promoting in reality the death of the white race, and you're creating hatred of white people, and you don't respect me. And the only reason I pop up in your feed is because you have a dark energy. When you look at me, they look at me through you. You think I'm a schizoid, and that's so racist of you. How could you call me schizoid when you went to a Mark Passio conference? How could you call me or think that I'm schizoid if you look and listen to Alex Jones? How could you think that I'm a schizoid if you're not racist? If you like David Icke? A lot of you are programmed to only like the white man, understanding, but when a part Afghani, part Indian, part Welsh, a dude with a bunch of like Superman genealogy in him who just came out short with an ugly ass looking nose. Just because they happen that way, and I don't like Schwarzenegger, and I'm asserting myself, doesn't mean that I'm not one of the most brilliant men that has ever walked the face of the earth. I'm one of the most valuable. I am one of the most valuable men on earth. And a lot of my teachings that you people are ignoring and laughing at are really then for the next generation of people that are come after you, like your kids. In other words, I'm helping people now while you're laughing at it that are going to come out of you and your ass. So, trust me. Your parents, hopefully you won't mind on podcast. It's a spiritual topic, but I can stop if you want to be alone. Okay. I won't say anything inflammatory. All right, thank you. I appreciate you being here. Okay, well, maybe she wanted to hear this, so this is what my message is to Greg. People can falsely perceive, oh, you're crazy because you have these emotions. Well, what I told you in the books, the sun increases tears, emotion, crime rates because of the demonic influence. It's not all good. It is of God, but it's not all good. And so what I'm saying is it's a massive contribution, what I'm working on. With my third book, it will be looking at all the major crimes that took place here, elsewhere in proximity when the sun is most active. And so I'm spiritually waking up to levels I have not been awake to in, I mean, this place can really tear a man apart if you're not spiritual, which is why I don't have any male friends here, because they're not okay. I'm going to stop blaming women for not dating me, because now I see what their options are here. My God. And no wonder why they don't trust me if I say I'm doing my own church thing, because of the illegality that goes on with some of these pastors, as it's seen in the news. They don't know who to trust. They've heard it all before. Oh, sure, you're of Jesus. Sure, you know the future. Yeah, you're trying to get to my what? No. You know, and so that's too bad. And then you talk to some people, tell them they're spiritual. That's a side topic. So the sun, people need to take a break from their argumentative home lives with their significant others, their boyfriends, their girlfriends, their parents. I agree that there needs to be institutes, but mental health hospitals, as they are now, forcibly drug. And I'm telling you, the main reason I got off of those drugs, which I only was told to take for insomnia, but wasn't for insomnia. And many of you, you really hate all Muslims. This was a Muslim doctor who I did not agree with, who treated me with spite. And I defended those people long, long time. And so to see a lot of you like be super hardcore anti-Muslim, but to not even recognize the fact that you're siding with a nutcase Muslim from Pakistan, and you don't acknowledge that. And I've seen that. I'm not saying you specifically, but I would say to generalize the aspects of my audience that may have a bias, why they don't donate, why they don't help, why they feel offended, why they want to criticize me, why they want to belittle me, while their channels have no content. See, we don't agree, me and you, on the purpose of life at all. Why you choose to watch me is up to you. You like abusing me, you like feeding my energy, I don't know. Only you know why you watch me and like me and don't engage. But I do give you energy, even if you don't believe in metaphysics and God. And my friend explained this to me, and that some of you actually stop creating content when I leave the internet because you feed on me and my ideas. And that was kind of how I saw one individual. So let me be very clear with my topic. Women in the 1950s were kidnapped and put into an MK Ultra program and abused by the government in psychiatric facilities, and there still needs to be healing from this. What I'm telling you today is I could easily be marginalized if I say I know something's going to happen and it happens. If I perceive that someone's evil and being demonic because they're raping people, that's justified. That's not okay what some of these people are doing and what's on these websites. I'm against it. That's not schizoid. So I'm telling you, it's not fair for there to be David Icke and just one understanding of the conspiracy when it comes to where our different heritages came from. If we do not embrace why there's wars now, that they are setting us against each other because different people have different originators. The true God creator, in my understanding, is the creator of the universe and all the planets. But when it comes to the earth plane, you're dealing with the matrix. And this does parallel biblical. A lot of people just misunderstand the Bible and they took it in different directions. And people like Aaron Edmondson, who used to be my friend in Portland, had a misunderstanding that Gnosticism was do as thou wilt, when in fact the Christians that I've come across are do as thou wilt, John 16, don't believe in the teachings of Christ, but believe in just saying, I give my life to Jesus, and that's a thought form. That's a made-up thing in the sky that floats and goes around in circles. And there are people into that one, and that's more magic. They use the cross as a tassel. So it's magic. It's not actually connecting with Jesus Christ, the real one, which is connected to the Son, return of the Son, return of the Son, hence the many books about that. So there's a reason why they murdered and raped the people with this knowledge when they created Christianity. And they created this barbaric version. And he said, look, kill them all, God will know his own. What was his name? Arianus. Arianus is like popular and venerated in aspects of Orthodox Christianity. So there's a reason why I'm not welcome in the Orthodox churches. So even if they don't know my very unusual mixed race heritage, which gave me my abilities, and I'm not a subhuman, but in fact a Superman, who could lead the planet out of this attack? I could decapitate El Diablo. And that's pretty much what I had to make clear to the Mexican market as I was driving around it, as they were calling the cops on me. So the cops, basically, she thought I was a terrorist over at the Starbucks just because I'm filming and saying that a lot of Muslims that are hated don't read the Quran. She hears these buzzwords and immediately calls the police. Where's Greg talking about her mental illness? See, Greg, her, and others, they're all in this spell where they used to look at things like 9/11, but now they believe that stuff. Plus, the guy that did that terror attack isn't even Arabic. He's what? Exactly. I was already talking about black on white violence. Don't make this about ISIS, which is made up by the US government. I mean, Trump already said that. But now, because people have low IQ, but they think they have high IQ, they have no memory, now we'll just go with the official story. And so, you know, people can learn a lot from me. And there needs to be a place where people experiencing the physical symptoms of the solar flares can get away from the environment. Like I should be able to get away from 5G. I should be able to get away from. And the reason why I spend more time here, I come here because I hope there's an angelic presence here that is noticing me, and I'm feeling like there are angels intervening, but there's evil that sits here too in this coffee shop and in this room. Not all. One person came in and her phone said, I like it dirty. And so you have people that are not Christian at all that come to this business who should be hearing what I'm saying, but they shouldn't be bombarded with it. You know, and so David Icke said, a person cannot unhear something once they've heard it. I like David Icke. I like the original things. I like a lot of these white philosophers. I admire the white female Dion Fortune. So what I admire is traditional people that were philosophers. Alexander Jasinski is what? White. My mother's what? White. And so, you know, I think that I'm admiring more and promoting more of the intelligent white people of our society rather than the ones that make people look like, you got it, Nazis, misogynists, misandry, hating of men. What I do is criticize this programming and go, who put this in us to think this way? You get that? And there's pastors that said this, but yet the pastor himself going, who did this to us to make us hate Muslims or something? Or but he himself, I'm like, why are you saying that when I can find a tape of you, according to David Pakman, doing the same thing? They profit financially in 2015 and 16 saying mass rapes of women will happen, of this group that won't happen and didn't happen. And then it creates a dating epidemic where only certain ethnicities and heights get a date due to subliminal. Subliminal means, have you ever heard of the record players like Led Zeppelin? Satan is good. Whoop, whoop, whoop. What the hell was that? Okay, these people are bad. Never allow them to have children. These people are bad. Never allow them to have children. That is coming from Satan. That's not coming from someone's desire. Oh, I like this. Like people like me were sexy as hell in the 70s and 80s, and now we're nasty as hell. People like me that created yoga. My ancestors that created world religions. Now we're nobodies because of cell phones. The minute cell phones came on the scene, I became a nobody and a subhuman. So I know that cell phones are the death of the white race. And they're going to result in a lot of white women being abducted by rape gangs sent in by China and Russia. So I told you, it's one thing, so throw away your cell phone. But if you need it for survival purposes to call the police, you get a Faraday bag that you buy on Amazon. That way it's shielded, and it's shielded in the signal. So if you're on TikTok, no hope for you. But I know that I would reach more people and probably enjoy carnalism if I wanted that, which I don't, if I was around these dumb TikTok babes. And I'd give my card out to 100 people. None of them will come to the channel here. So I know that I'm to stop thinking that there's any angels here in this region. If they don't even, like, if you can only acknowledge human trafficking prevention from a tall black or white cop, if you can only acknowledge spirituality from a tall white pastor who's got money, yet he has no books predicting, I predicted China, and it was happening in 2025, 20 years ago. So now all these people are going, this person predicted this in 2025, this was, and then I'm left out of it. Maybe God wants it that way, and I have my own prophecy that, yeah, I'm working for the women of a future generation to uproot myself out of this earth, get back to heaven, and get married in the dimension where I belong. This is the matrix. And the more nasty sex people have in this world, the more they're going to be, according to my friend, my female friend, who I was celibate with for years, but we broke that. But we're not real physical, but we're friends. Was that for 7 years, I stopped that stuff by choice. That the animalism is bringing people down. I think I had to cleanse myself. I had to get out demons from people that I was involved with in Demon Town, Portland Town, Sex Demon Town. You know, Sex Demons of Portland, Oregon, the book that hasn't been made but probably should. Escape from New York, Escape from Portland, the movie that hasn't been made but probably should. Then I tried to get to Sylvester Stallone to tell him way in advance to make Rambo 6. And now there's these fake trailers. But I mean, the type of psychic stuff that I thought, like basically my friend, others are like, bro, you need to make a prediction documentary or blog about everything you've been saying. Because here's the truth. There's the possibility that they're going to take me away for knowing too much because they took away Dion Fortune. So if Greg thinks I'm crazy and he was a reporter, that's a bad sign. If others think I'm crazy and need to be taken away and lose my freedom, that's a bad sign. That I need help? He needs help, bro. You're saying there's this dark little place of hating on me when I'm trying to help you, bro. You're proving everything that I believe, that you can be told that Islamic terrorism are real, that people need help and need to be marching to the camps. Like you can literally believe what you're told, like, are you ready for the next jab? And they have no remorse and they don't talk over email. They love comment sections, but they hate email. I got my mom a gift today. Let's change the topic and stop talking for a minute and get some sunshine. What did I get from my mom after years of berating and fighting back against child abuse? See, the sun gives me energy, and I give it back to you. Vampires. I'm just kidding. So we grew up on a farm, and she misses that farm. But due to adultery, my grandparents split up. And so I went to the grocery store, and I'm asking God for help. Because we got to get prepared. And I don't have money. No, I do have money. I don't have the money that I need to really, really get prepared. And we have 6 people watching. God bless you. We're going to leave at 33 minutes. So 12 minutes from now, we're ending this stream. So you know what to expect. So you know what to expect from me. We're leaving in 12 minutes. I got her, which I'd be, screw it, 99 cents for a big bag of hazelnuts, man. They wanted like 10 bucks originally for it. 10 bucks, $5. And I just acted like I was like the end of the world was here. And I just boom, 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 I'm sending all this to New York. You don't like books? Tough. The Nazis burned books. You gotta read this book by Dion Fortune, The Magical Battle of Britain. And I go to the gym in that sauna and I see women that I'm attracted to, that I physically want to get with, but I don't talk to her. I don't talk to her. I don't know if I want to do that. And I just want to wake her up, the girl at the gym. I just want to wake her up. If she would listen to me, because she said that she's scared because her ex is coming after her. And I know what's going on. I know why her ex is coming after her. I know what's going on with people retaliating against their exes. I know I haven't been right either with emails I've sent to my ex. But I'm not, I said your luck's not going to be good in Idaho with China invading. You know, I'm not happy with the way she treated me, but that's not the same thing as that's being courteous, because I'm obsessed with what states will be safe and not. And I feel like if you're going to go from a left wing area into a right wing area with negative karma with what they did to the Chinese of all areas, you don't want to be in Idaho for the Chinese. These are dumb tards who are denying truth, who are not actually listening to me. You think you can just get away from Portland? No, this place will be better, I think, for that. Other states, one state pops up a lot to mind. Is there anybody in Oklahoma who wants to do a meetup by chance, who's not currently married with people not already part of the movement? Okay. So, I got walnuts also. So $15 was spent. So we'll throw in the magical battle of Britain, okay? I'm gonna try not to respond to those of you leaving because I have no evidence whether you like me or not, but ultimately I need to be practicing more of a Vipassana attitude with you, which is to let you say what you wanna say in the comments. I wanna get to that point. If you wanna be insulting, be insulting. There'll be a bunch of people saying, a bunch of people wanna like and stack themselves onto that. 5 people like someone saying, get help. 5 people like you, being, humiliated, blah, blah, blah. Well, we'll take a screenshot of that. I don't have to entertain my people with arguments. The mental illness of the modern conspiracy truther is that they are entitled to yelling at and berating at a TV show where normally Edward Bernays, Howard Beale, Alex Jones in his original days, Art Bell, George Norrie, Clyde Lewis, all these traditional, just go down the list. There is no such thing as trolling and trying to destroy a person's mind with your comments in traditional long form radio. Okay, the comment section is a privilege. And many of you can't type more than a sentence. You don't read books. You don't want books. And there's a strong parallel between yourself and the Nazis, which many of you disagree with, but Anthony Hilder knew as a prophet, who is now forgotten by the Clyde Lewises and Alex Joneses of the world. That was a good man. And by exposing the past of our heritages, including my mother's, in which there's a KKK ancestor. In the South, we came from the South, buddy. And Europe and other places. I came from the South into Oregon, genetically. And then my father came in from the banana boat, and then the rest was hell. I mean, history. Yeah. when I was false suicidal ideation, and I was doing this, at the mental hospital that they kidnapped me to for no reason, for drinking alcohol and then having to break down. I'm doing this and praying to God and trying to come to the Bible and read the Bible. And there are people in that place pissing on the Bible, ripping pages out of the Bible. I witnessed paranormal possessions and attacks of Christians while detained in a mental health facility. I witnessed people lying to me and saying that there were no Bibles when they were hiding Bibles. I am telling you to your face, and I, Alex, swear to you that I'm telling the truth under a penalty of perjury, under eternal fire in hell, if I am lying to you. I am telling you the truth. Again, taking my focus away from the fact that there's 4 people watching. It doesn't matter who's watching and not. You have stuff to do. I am telling you the truth, my brothers and sisters. They were trying to kill me and shove a needle in my butt because I was spiritual. Those of you that are not brown, those of you that are not touched by God, that don't have prophecy, you are not in any position to berate me. And if you're offended by me calling you an NAZI when you come from my past, I told you why. You're part of an alien radicalization program to kill my kind by 2100. And that's why later on your grid will be taken and there will be like the Blackened Skies, the Matrix, the Animatrix, like there's a long history of brutality. And I'm saying God, the true God, through that son who brings us the babies and the deaths when that son is active, is bringing you a new matrix where the babies, kids born in 2045 will be facing hardship. Okay, and I could be wrong and the earth will be saved, but we haven't yet. It's like there's going to be an era of time where there's periods of prosperity and there's periods of time that you go back into a recycling. And basically the more prosperous, you know where I'm going with this, there's a cycle here. I'm being infused with information and ideas that I've never had before. I feel centered right now, talking next to this person and away from others. It affects me, positive or negative, based on who's in the room with me and whether neutral, positive, or whatever. Or, you know, most of the time people necessarily don't like me, but they're not repelled by me, or it's an energy. And there's truth in your voice, even if they don't hear what you're saying. But if they're on the dark side, they can get up and maybe start a fight with you or something. You know, and God is showing me that I'm not in physical danger yet, but looking at the news and the things that we talk about on my show, where I cover the news, and I give out cards where I cover the news. I don't always talk spiritual. I cover news. And so this is stuff, nobody locally puts news in a certain light, in a certain context. And people will be guided to sit down at a certain place to get some information because God made it so. Just like that 300-pound black woman coming into that grocery store, talking to me about how, you know, these people, my mom, not her per se, but the family, a lot of people that are in our world came from outer space. And this is a bread and butter staple of the David Icke coast to coast genre, only they think that it's like a good thing. And that's where the trouble lies. It's not necessarily a positive thing, whatever adulteration took place. Furthermore, my former home in Pagosa Springs is located next to like Treasure Falls. And because of a guy named Bill Gorman, and Bill, if you're out there, message me again. Let's talk. I'd like to visit you someday. Anyway, I'll visit a Trump supporter and I'll work with a Trump supporter if Trump's not the mastermind of the New World Order. I don't believe he is. He's just not someone that I'm like, you know, hot to trot for. And I am a jealous man. I don't want you dating Trump over me. I'm jealous. I don't want you dating Harris and Biden over me. I want you in my compound. I want you on my planet. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm getting carried away for a minute. But that's the thing. There's a little bit of jealousy here and territorialism. I don't see myself as a short nobody. I see myself as the ultimate badass. And I see Alex Jones and Donald Trump on my turf. Okay, so I think that you just should like wake up to what's going on. Okay? Mark Passio, I'm trying to wake him up to care about more people. If a Mark Passio viewer listens to me, it's like, bro, you hate Mark Passio more than the government. They're not listening to me, and they're showing me that you can be intelligent like Mark Passio. and have listeners that can't think, can't read, and don't want to read books. By the way, why doesn't Mark Passio write a book? You know, the Nazis were into book burning, and a lot of you only watch videos. And there's a new neo-Nazi ideology, and you're being mesmerized by screens, and they're giving you dopamine, and they're looking at your iris, and they're programming you through the screens. How many of you are really convinced that through transhumanism, you're going to defeat the New World Order? Because I'm not convinced. I think you're living a lie. And so when solar flares take place, most people are not aware of the solar flares. They're sitting at home staring at screens. So you're taking in the solar flares, you're looking at the screen, and you're going crazy. So crazy you could think that someone tapped into the light is crazy, and that you have the right to take them away. And repeat, MK Ultra. So the more things stay the same, the more things change, the more things stay the same. I went to Denny's tonight, made a big speech, just intuitively knowing that the black brothers were not in there. But the black woman was who liked me. That black people should stop thinking that I'm racist to them when I'm talking about black on white woman violence. I'm talking about this horrible, like the white woman that was picked up in the ground like a wrestler and just slammed on the ground like she was like a Barbie doll. What was going inside the mind of that big guy, black guy in that car? Okay, did he think that she caused the accident on purpose? And remember how I told you on the same day that people can get fender benders during solar flares, it'd be an accident. Someone could overreact and think they did it on purpose, and then a fighting, an accusation, then an argument. While none of them know about what? Solar flares. And so who are the people that you know the most about solar flares? Cops, the criminal justice system, and anybody to do with modern medicine and therapy. And so the biggest conclusion, example, that you don't exist and that we're in a simulation. I'm in a simulation and you're not here. It's just this, I'm joking, but you can feel free to tell me that you're here and you're awake and you're listening, is that people can't get this. And it could be that alien program to where this really does seem to be a dominant white Anglo-Saxon society that has ignored me on coast to coast. So clearly my heritage through my dad's side has allowed me to have a certain gift that Diamond David others is going to view as like a Nephilim, curse, demon, subhuman. They're like, son's going to die, grand sworn minimum. Even if that's the case, why ignore my years and years of research on the sun? The only reason they watch me is to get information. They're parasites.